Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Wild Tigers and the head of lead marketing, Paul. How are you doing today, Paul?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing today?
Doing great. I'm very happy to have you as you guys are a new project out of the horizon. You guys are originating from the team behind Migos World. It's a revolution, a collection of 3,333 NFTs launching on Hedera. The first 3,000 will be released June 2nd on Atlantis and a very reasonable mint price of 45 HBAR. You mind me asking, what was the inspiration behind the Wild Tigers?
Yeah, man. So a lot of people don't know. We kind of held a couple spaces, but we actually got the art from HM Panda. If you know who HM
Nice.
Panda is, yeah, he's a known eco member, very trusted. He's actually building a lot of cross chain technology at the moment, and he actually had this collection with him. And he kind of reached out to Maui and said, "Hey, I have this collection. I'm currently like kind of busy, and I'm not the one to just mint something and not really finish it or be part of the community." So me and Maui got with him and kind of made some adjustments, and then we took over that collection.
That's very cool. And Panda, he's behind Panda Syndicates, correct? I've
Correct.
hosted him in the past. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. That's very cool. And it's nice to see that community members are coming together and, facilitating different art pieces for other community members out there as well. And just really trying to make everybody, everybody have an opportunity and another opportunity to capitalize on. And although he didn't have the time necessary to devote towards these tigers, at least he found a group of hardworking individuals to make this happen. It's a public launch, there's no whitelist, it's fun and affordable art. Can you tell me the thought process the team behind Wild Tigers had when it came to only having a public launch and no whitelist?
Yeah, man. Migos World is kind of an OG of the Hedera ecosystem, so is Rooster Cartel, and they have not done a mint quite some time. So we kind of thought, what would be the fastest and easiest way to onboard people to the ecosystem of Migos World than a cheaper mint, right? We've been
Yeah,
around for a while. Now he's been around for a while, and Rooster Cartel, Migos World's 2, 3 years old. So a lot of the newer members of the community doesn't really know who Maui is necessarily or know what Migos World is, Rooster Cartel. So we thought what would be the easiest way. And we thought the easiest way would be a no whitelist. So there's no restrictions, there's no gatekeeping. If you like the art, you vibe with the art, then you can buy it. We also wanted to do cheap just because um, same thing, it's easier to onboard, right? If you don't know who Maui is or Rooster Cartel, Migos World, maybe you're not reluctant to pay 250, 500 H bar, you know what typical H bar mints are going for right now. So we thought it'd be a cool way to onboard people to Migos World ecosystem by doing a cheaper mint.
nice. Very smart approach. Hence, 45 H bar right now is about $4.50. And so
Yep.
that's very affordable for all. I'm assuming you'll be onboarding new users from other chains. I've heard you mention in the past on X Spaces, you guys are dabbling a little bit in Base right now. Is there any other chains outside of just Base that you're focusing on to onboard new members back?
Yeah, not currently at the moment. Now he does a lot on base with meme coins and other community members and Bobby, from Friendsland and everything like that.
Yeah.
So as of as the moment, we are just looking at base to onboard some people, maybe do some cross chain technology from there. I know Ancient Panda, he's doing a little bit with like Soul and doing cross chain coins and stuff like that. So at the moment, we're just looking at base and maybe a little bit of Soul. Soul obviously is a lot more full of degens and not people that actually want to join the community. So it's a little tricky to find ecosystems that are more for like art, utility, and fun than just for profit.
Most definitely. Yeah, I think Base is it's a new hotspot on the horizon as it's paired with Coinbase and built off of Ethereum, a layer two. And I just think Coinbase, how much of a monopoly it has over the market, it's really going to open the doors for new users from all across the world to have an opportunity within this Web3 space. And just the onboarding process for Coinbase specifically, it's fairly simple and so it's really going to really make the ease of accessibility so much simpler than typical crypto traders and users are known to having, with having a hardware wallet of some nature, storing your keys away. Coinbase really simplifies that process. Although it may not be the most secure, it's much farther more simplified and easier to digest as a newcomer, would you say?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. The trust layer behind it, like you said, Coinbase has
True.
the majority of the market. It's been around for a long time. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I think just the trust behind it, the amount of volume that already flows through Coinbase, I think it was a perfect breeding ground just for, that type of ecosystem to kind of develop behind the trust, the security, the wallets they already had. Most of the technology was already built in place. They just had to add accommodations for, the NFTs, the wallets, and then like the network. So I definitely think it's going to be a growing network for sure.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see. And I also see, I mean, I already mentioned you're the head of the marketing for the Tigers, and I see as you're marketing this over the X account, you're also providing a little bit of lore. Can you really elaborate more on the first three chapters of the lore and how it plays a role in the future of the collection?
Yeah, so the big thing that Maui and Guest Choir and Chris, Guest Choir has been part of Migos Road and Rooster Cartel for over 2 years now. Chris as well. They're actually in charge of the lore. So the whole point of Migos Road and Rooster Cartel, if you go back and look at the original NFTs and everything, they're big on lore. They love the story. They love tying the collections together. They like having fun with it, right? So whenever we got the NFT project from Ancient Panda, they sat down and they immediately started going over like how can we tie this to the Roosters? How can we tie this in the Migos world? And Roosters kind of go with everything, right? Especially when you already have like Roosters with like lions and everything. So they kind of just tied in together. So obviously Rooster Cartel, the lore behind it, it's cartel of roosters, they were breeded from the Migos and that's kind of how they became and everything. So we thought it'd be really cool, maybe if the roosters and wild tigers kind of like fought with each other for a little while, kind of, some land and everything like that. And we kind of tied the lore in more into that. And that's kind of where we are now. I'm not going to get too much more in the lore because we have a couple more things coming out. But if you read over the chapters 3, it's start of the progress of how they met each other, kind of the friction behind them, and kind of how that starts to play out.
Nice. So it's a gang, it's a battle against gangs,
Yeah.
one could put it. Nice. That's very cool. And my next question, transitioning, would be when pitching this project to community members far and wide, what are some of the key components that you would potentially elaborate on to more or less sell them on what reasons why they should potentially purchase the NFTs? Obviously, it's very affordable mint, so there should be really no issue when it comes to mint price and how affordable it is. But what are some of the other key components that you'd highlight?
Yeah, I think my biggest one is trust, to be honest. Maui's been in their ecosystem since 2021. He's been here since, NFT collections was even a thing. They were minting NFTs and there was no site for that. And there was no blogs for that. They were just trading them back and forth between people they trusted. So just to begin with, Maui's been here for a long time. So I think that trust layer is there. Obviously, he's not rugging. He's not going anywhere. He's not here to steal people's funds. So I think that's an important factor people should look at whenever they mint NFT collections, right? Some people meant for art. Some people meant for, connections and stuff like that. And I think that's a big one for here is the trust layer behind Maui himself. Also think another reason why they should maybe mint is it's cool fun art, right? It's hand drawn art and then obviously generated, the mix the collections and the traits, but it's hand
Yeah,
drawn. So it's, no dog on AI or anything like that. But, people sat down and actually took their time to draw this up, they put their hard work into it and showed their skills, right? So I think those are two key metrics people should look at. If they vibe with the art, they vibe with the artists, if they vibe with the leaders of whoever's running the project. I think those are two big factors people should look at whenever they should decide to mint. Obviously, mint price, we already went over that. It's really cheap, it's affordable, it's easy to onboard people onto the ecosystem that hasn't, been here before. So
most definitely. Well said. And I personally can vouch for Maui being a long time community member who has never really shown signs of giving up. He's never shown signs of, falling out behind the curtains or anything like that. He's always been here, always doing something new, always trying to provide value back to his community. So I personally can vouch for that as well. And I know you are a key factor in his growth as well. And, it's not only one person, there's many people behind the Migos World team. And many people supporting your guys' vision overall. And so I personally can vouch, and I just wanted to mention that as well. I saw you guys have kind of teased a little bit about this IRL product releasing by Rooster Salsa for Wild Tigers specifically. Anything you can dabble there, or is that still TBD?
Yeah, man. So obviously, Maui and the Migos World Team is doing a lot with Rooster Salsa, right? So,
Yeah.
he started the project when we went to Hello Future Live in LA. We took a whole bunch of samples. I think he took like 50 samples. It was like two different flavors, and it was a hit, right? People loved it. They loved the in real life product, and it's really affordable to ship. It's affordable to make. Salsa, and it's Maui's family's recipe. So just behind the lineage of the salsa and how it kind of plays into the whole Rooster cartel, it seemed like a perfect product to release. So Maui's been working on the back end to actually get some FDA things approved, get some labels, and actually get approval so we can actually start being in stores and start getting into other projects like that. So um, and I think it's an amazing concept, right? A lot of people don't mix Web 2 with Web 3, and I think this was a perfect, fun way to actually involve Web 2 with Web 3. So I think the Rooster Cartel salsa is going to do it's doing really well, and I think he has some new recipes on the way.
Oh, so it's going to be potential new recipes for Wild Tiger specific, I'm assuming. That's just my guess based off what you said.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I me and Maui talked a little bit, and we're probably going to talk more about it. But we're going to come out with some more limited edition flavors and limited edition collections, and maybe even partner with a couple other communities, to do some limited releases.
Nice. It's funny that we mentioned hot sauce. I was actually before we hop on this call, I was on the phone with Maui actually, and he called me up telling me he was heading over to the kitchen to start bottling up some more hot sauce and cooking it up as well. And I thought that was very cool. And I look forward to speaking with him more about Rooster Salsa and everything he's doing over there as well. It's quite exciting things you got going on between, Migos World, Rooster Salsa, Rooster Cartel, and now Wild Tigers. Overall, all of it really brings me a lot of excitement based around who's behind the projects and the long lasting relationships you guys have built and will continue to build throughout this web3 space and especially on Hedera.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for the future of Rooster Salsa. I think Maui has created, a great recipe, and I think once we get everything kind of worked out and the logistics behind it, I think he could do really well. I think Migos World could do really well as a whole with this Rooster Salsa.
Nice. Yeah, couldn't have said it better. So when you guys successfully mint out this project, what are the future plans for upcoming initiatives and that you have in store for the revenue generated from this mint?
Yeah, so actually the majority of the revenue obviously is going back towards Migos World. Maui's doing a lot of logistics on the back end. He's trying to open up a shop. He's buying the products, the shipping, the certifications, and the taxes all behind it. So the majority of the funds are going back to Migos World. We have a lot of plans with Rooster Cartel as well. Obviously, the last mint Rooster Cartel actually had was over 2 years ago, and then pretty much everything after that for Rooster Cartel was more airdrops or farming. So he's actually only done like really like one mint for Rooster Cartel. So this kind of opens the door back for Rooster Cartel on what we can expand there, right? As we talked about, Wild Tigers wasn't our art to begin with, and we received it, and now we're working with it. But now this kind of gives us an opportunity to kind of expand more on the rest of our ecosystem. We have a couple ideas for Rooster Cartel we'd like to do. We have some things being drawn up on the back end by Christopher, obviously. And then we have a couple of things we'd like to do with Migos World. Migos World is kind of like the umbrella of the corporation, and it's kind of been on the back burner for a couple of years. And due to getting the team together and kind of everything going on, I think we could start kind of pumping out some more things from Migos world, such as education, onboarding more marketing for other teams, and we have a couple ideas on what we're going to do with that. So obviously, some of the funds is going to come back to the members of Migos world. Like we stated, now he's been here for 3 years, right? And he's been nonstop pushing. He's doing everything he can for the community. So majority of it will go back to Migos World as a whole, so we can keep developing onto the brand, and then obviously some of us will get compensation for the work we've done as well.
Most definitely. And at least you have a plan. That's all that really matters to me, in my opinion. At least there's some idea that is planned out to really further the project's growth and overall success. And, it's not like you're taking the mint funds and just going to start giving away a bunch of NFTs or trying to start some new token or whatnot. You have a in real life, physical plan in store that will really, you know, it's gonna snowball effect, and it's gonna just constantly continue to rise and become more and more successful over time. And things simply just take time at the end of the day, but it's nice to see that majority of the mint funds will go towards fueling Migos World and furthermoring the whole entire Migos World ecosystem. And overall, I'm just quite excited to see what's to come because we're still early at the end of the day. It's June 2nd, still what, 2 weeks away,
Yep.
and we still have plenty of time to come, and many many more months and years to come to see what and how this plays out. What excites you the most, though, Paul?
I think what excites me the most is kind of like you said, we're early. A lot of people don't think about it when we talk about crypto, about us being early because, Bitcoin, Ethereum, 2012, 2015, is when they really came to scene. But when you look at the Hedera ecosystem, we really are early. If you look at the statistics, if you look at the DeFi numbers, the NFT mint volume, and all those numbers involved, the wallet creation, we are super early, right? We're seeing this ecosystem kind of develop it before our eyes. Some of us have been here a year, some of us been here 2 years and 3 years, and that seems like a long time. But I think as the market kind of matures and utility coins kind of take over, we're going to kind of just start seeing the Hedera flourish more, right? I think that we're so early actually that we're going to start seeing these tides turn and start seeing NFT projects actually have real world utility where they're actually supposed to be. We're about to see crypto actually take its place in the ecosystem and in the world as we should. So I'm really excited for the future of Hedera. I'm excited for, a lot of people don't like it, but I'm excited for regulation. I'm excited to see what regulation will do to the space. I'm excited to see the corporations now that are now going to dip their fingers in because they know there's regulation. I think the years to come is really going to be exciting for Hedera, especially.
Yeah, I can't wait for regulation either, just because I want a clear path to knowing what is legal and what is illegal. And I just want more guidance in this space because at the end of the day, there's really none right now. It's the wild, wild west. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because, there might be actors who might be able to get away with a little more than, they might be with regulation. But, overall, regulation brings more guidance and brings more structure to the market, and that's what markets need to flourish and succeed overall, and onboard millions and billions of users transacting trillions of dollars within these networks. And we just need a little more guidance, and I think it mainly needs to come from the United States government, the SEC. And once we have that, the rest of the rules and regulations will follow, I think. But we just need to get the corruption out of office and move forward with meaningful and impactful rules overall. That's just my thought on that. But getting back to the Wild Tigers, so my overall analysis of what you've mentioned, so it's mainly going to be an art-based project, and from there you'll have a mix of the lore, and you'll get a tease of different various products that will be special products that are released through Rooster Salsa and whatnot. But majority of the mint funds will be going back to funneling or fueling the entire Migos world ecosystem. Is that a good overall, summary of what Wild Tigers is about?
Yeah, for sure. Like we kind of stated, the whole point of Wild Tigers, whenever we took over the band, is to onboard people to the Migos World and Rooster Cartel ecosystem, right? It's a fun art based project. There's no promises. We're not promising this or that. So, it's purely if you like the art, you like the ecosystem, you like the creators and the founders, then it suits you. Obviously, like you said, we have things behind Wild Tigers such as Rooster Salsa and Rooster Cartel. So we're going to start tying these in a lot more closely, so they're kind of more branded together. But for the main part, yes, Wild Tigers is more for a fun onboarding community project.
That's amazing. I'm excited. And I definitely will be minting as well because like you said, it's fun, it's affordable. And what else can you ask for really, especially on Hedera when the transactions are happening in less than milliseconds for less than pennies.
For sure.
Can't get better than that, Paul. Well, it's been very informative today. A quick 20 minutes, one of the faster shows that I've done, but we got everything in, we get everything out, and I'd love to host you down the road again once we have more intel and more to see from the Wild Tigers. If there's any closing thoughts, Paul, now would be the time to say so, but once again, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate for having us on here, man. This is actually one of my first interviews, like kind of in this kind of
Nice.
setting. So I appreciate, reaching out to me and, making this possible. It's really heartwarming and it's cool to see the ecosystem do this. I think your videos are great. I actually follow you on YouTube. I watch most of all your shorts that pop up. So I love your content, man,
Thanks,
and
Paul.
keep killing it.
Appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. This is Paul from the Wild Tigers. If you want more information on their mint, link will be down below. And if you enjoyed today's show, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all in the next episode. Peace.
See you later, guys.
Ready to transform your learning experience? Step into the future with the Learn to Earn platform on Hedera. Choose how you learn: academic books in hard copy or NFT form. That's right, NFTs. Whether you prefer the traditional feel or a digital interactive journey, the choice is yours. Dive into the NFT, not just for the book, but for all the tools you need for success. Download the book, access tests, all within a seamless, immersive interface. Forget traditional logins. Simply scan the QR code, connect to our platform, and start your Learn to Earn journey. Pass your tests and watch your success turn into real rewards with Gcoin, our exclusive digital currency. Imagine learning at your own pace, acing exams, and reaping tangible benefits. It's not just education, it's a transformative journey towards success. Join the future of learning at gilmore-estates.net. Scan, learn, earn. It's that simple, and it's revolutionary.